Okay, so we have another three questions that I'm going to listen to and answer. Wu-Sabat is really spreading, and it's great to have people from different parts of the world sending in their questions. So let's get into the three questions.
Hey, how you doing? I have three questions. I hope I'm not off topic, but I would like to know: are there any large land masses, civilization living on those land masses beyond the Antarctic ice wall? That'll be the first one.
Okay, so the first question is, are there any civilizations or beings living beyond the ice walls? And the answer is yes. We tend to think as humanoids on the planet that we were here first, but that's far from the truth in terms of there were many, many civilizations, even like the beings that were here first, like the Meldekians from Meldic, when the crash of Nibiru took place. A lot of them were here and they came here and they were living here in the waters and they built underground or underwater cities. You know, even Enki, when he was terraforming the planet, he built a lot of underwater cities. There are beings that have been living in all parts of the planet, both deep down in the seas, in the center, in the cavern, in a place called Shambhala, which is the subterranean world in the center of the earth. Beings that live in the skies, beings that, they live here, but they walk amongst us. So when it comes to the question about, because people say, you're not allowed to go past that because obviously they have security and so on. Yes, because if you spot UFOs or UAPs now as they're called, a lot of people see them near the Antarctica and they come out of the waters and they go back in the water. And for a long time, when this was an agreement between the governments that they're not allowed to reveal themselves, they could coexist and live here, but not allowed to reveal themselves. A lot of other extraterrestrials have basically gone against that agreement, and we're at a time where there's a reset, there's a shift. Many things are going to be revealed. What do they call it? Disclosure has been done. So yes, there are many beings that live basically every part of the planet you can think of, even in the woods. The beings that you call Bigfoot, they live there. They live. If you go back and look at even the whole thing with Hitler, he was in the Antarctica because he met and was in communication with Pleiadians that live there as well, and there are tunnels that interconnect from different parts of the world. I mentioned the subterranean world where you had entrances from different parts of the world, North and South poles, the pyramids of Giza, South America, many places. But what happened is that many of these entrances were sealed and then, blocked, or you have security where you can't go through them or go past them and so on. But it's getting to a point now where the extraterrestrial or the UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena, is getting so popular. It's been happening for years, and these beings are revealing themselves more and more. So yeah, we're living through a time where you're going to see and know more about these beings. But yeah, extraterrestrials, beings have been living in every part of the planet for a very long time. In fact, for millions of years. So that's the answer to that first question. Let's move on to the second one.
And the second one would be: is the Earth flat or sphere?
Okay, is the Earth flat or sphere? We've been this question keeps coming up over and over and over again. Our answer is that the earth is not flat. And because how we approach things in Wu-Sabat, we like to, I guess, go into the detail. And when you're using English words, we have to break down what word are we saying when we're saying a word. So what that means is that the part that people are calling earth, right? Because when you say, is the earth flat? The part that we're calling earth is not flat if you're looking at a surface being flat and even, okay? Because the part you're calling earth, some of it is underwater and some of it is above water or above sea level. So this is what we look at when we say we have mountains, right? So we have flat surfaces, we have mountains, and we have, when you go deep into the oceans, that same part we're calling earth goes down as well. So what you're looking at is this type of thing, okay? So that's not flat. So when we say, is the earth itself flat? No, the earth is not flat. Then when we look at the people that talk about the earth being flat, they say the earth is flat like this, and then you have a dome over it. A dome is not flat. It's got a cylinder type of shape, right? So it's not flat. So I'm just saying that it may sound pedantic, but it's like, is the earth flat? No, the earth is not flat. And then we get into the different, what people call conspiracies, and a view of how you're looking at the earth, and the fact that you have vibrations or counterparts of everything. So whatever you see physically has a counterpart which is not physical. So you have different realms, and people who are able to have remote viewing, out of body experiences called astral projection and things like that, they're able to travel beyond what they're saying is restricted. So if that's the case, if people are able to actually astral project or have an out of body experience and are able to go places and see things, they would have no restriction to go and visit these places and see what is beyond the ice walls, okay? So people that have, they've given accounts of what they see, and there are different realms and different dimensions. So what people are calling the new earth, or in terms of the vibration, like if you raise your vibration, this is what even the extraterrestrials that people see with crafts, that one minute you see it and the next minute it disappears, is because when you're dealing with crafts which are not aerodynamic, they're organic, and some of them can actually morph and become aerodynamic or become physical, as well as go back in terms of change its frequency or its vibration. And so you can see it for 1 second and the next minute it's gone, because it's just shifted gears, if you want to call it that, in terms of its vibration. So yeah, we don't teach that the earth is flat. And the final thing I would say on that, based on us being Musbatu or Sabians of Wu-Sabat or Nuwapians, is that our teacher, the master teacher, Pana Babyanun, teaches us of coming from a planet called Risk, which is outside our solar system, in the 19th galaxy, which is next to our galaxy being the 18th. And he has given us extensive information about other planets and about, where he comes from, the Dogons that map Sirius A, B, C. There's so much information that predates what people are talking about today, as in flat Earth. Natural nature does not evolve and come out with things being flat. I gave an example previously of a tree. A tree, if everything was if the order of the universe and nature was flat, then we wouldn't have curves and round things. So everything is, curvy. So when you look at a tree, it's got curves. so that the wind, because everything is related, like the wind has to go through and pass through the trees. And if everything was flat, it would just bounce off of it. So when you're starting to deal with ergonomics and deal with how nature works and how one thing relates to the other, it doesn't point to the earth being flat. That's our take on it as Musbatu. If in the future we get more information or something different, then of course we will teach that. But as far as we've been taught at the moment, and as far as my nine reasoning goes, the earth is not flat. And I know you say they may be a part of the conspiracy, but all the smartest minds, scientists, don't subscribe to the earth being flat. So make of that what you will. All right, let's go on to the next question.
And my third question would be, what does singing, or how does singing affects the human soul or spirit?
Okay, so the last and final question is, how does singing affect the human soul or spirit? Well, music, because singing is music, even talking is music. People think of music as just what's popular in terms of the entertainment industry, but music is everywhere, right? The wind is music, nature is music, So when we're saying does singing affect the soul and the spirit, yes, it does, because really you're talking about tones, vibrations, yeah, frequencies. When something happens over and over again over a given time, that's known as a frequency. So that frequency has a vibration because everything oscillates, everything moves, right? Atoms, electrons, protons, they move. That's what keeps everything moving. Some movements are so subtle you can't see them with the naked eye. So when you look around, things are held together by atoms that are vibrating and at a much lower density. The faster the vibration, the more or the less dense things become. So when you're singing, you're actually making a sound that it's going to vibrate, and it will vibrate with your being. You resonate with it if the resonant frequency matches that tone or vibration. This is why different people like different types of music, because it vibrates, or it's in the same resonance frequency that they are on. So every race has their tones that they like or that they vibrate to, just like your body has a tone. Everything has a tone and a vibration. Our tones as Musbatu, or Sabians, Nawapians, Negroids, is the body is on A, and natural nature is on F, and the cosmos is on C, and they all align. That forms the F major triad or chord, and but each one of those notes has variations in vibration. So the simplest way that most musicians will relate to it is when you have an F, you will have an F flat, and then you have an F major and you have an F sharp. The same with the A, you have a A flat, A major, and an A sharp, and the same with the C. Even though you wouldn't say C flat, which is really a B, it's still C flat, C, and C sharp. And each one of those will have their own three tones. This is why the triad, or the three tones, are those three vibrations or frequencies. And so if you like soul music, for example, it's going to be a different vibration, a resonance, than if you were listening to, say, heavy metal or rock music. Different people will resonate with different vibrations. So yes, soul, this is how, the term soul people or soul music came in, because you're singing music that is touching the soul or vibrating with the soul. And this is a way that people are captivated, like in churches. Most churches will have a choir, and the buildings that these churches are residing, they have acoustic treatment. This is how the room in itself will be able to give you an experience based on the fact that, the acoustics in the room. So all of this was by design. So if you look at cathedrals, if you look at churches, if you look at mosques, they were designed in a particular way, because even though in Islam they say don't sing, but the adhan that they call is sung. The voice, the speaking, the way you recite the Quran, that is singing, that is, but we call it chanting. Chanting is singing. So yes, to answer your question, it does affect your spirit, and it affects your soul. Now, some tones will attract negative or disagreeable beings towards you. This is why even something as simple, or you may think simple, as a name, your tone, it's a name that you react to. If somebody calls a name and there are 10 people in the room bearing that name, all of them are going to turn around. So with Wu-Sabat, with our culture, we have triad names, or we have more than one tone, which is unique, because the permutations of the different tones will mean that everyone can have a unique name, which is a unique tone, like having your own unique telephone number for communication. And if I'm able to, because even though you're typing numbers electronically, those numbers are being turned into electrical signals that are then sent via a network, be it wireless or hardwired network, to communicate with the person that you're contacting on their numbers or their tone. So in the old days, when you used to type a number, you would hear it go do 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 do. Like you could actually hear that was the translation of the, the user-friendly aspect of it to binary or to zeros and ones that are sent down a communication channel, like, as I said, like the network, wireless or wired. And then the satellites will then pinpoint that unique number of the person that has the device anywhere on the planet, to be able to translate that code from the other person's code, to make a connection between the two of you, to then have a communication or a conversation. All right, so yes, that's absolutely true, that singing affects your spirit and soul.